friends, I am Arpit and I am here with the Yojana analysis. Now as we all know that for September month we are covering Yojana in 3 parts. The first 2 parts are already there and this is the third part, that is the last part for September 2023. In this we are going to cover 2 very important topics. First is the civil services reforms. These are the most important topic, or this is the most important topic for us. And these civil services reforms we are going to cover through a mission called as Mission Karam Yogi. This mission was launched by the government with this aim and objective of transforming the civil services or building capacity among the civil servants of India, making them future ready, so that they can make their functioning more effective, more efficient, and adopt certain new technologies like digitalization in their day-to-day handling of the works. So this is with what we are going to cover here in this particular topic, that is Mission Karam Yogi. Then next is role of constitutional bodies in strengthening the democracy in India. We have a list of constitutional bodies. This kind of topic we are going to be more elaborative on it, that how these constitutional bodies are fulfilling or strengthening democracy in India. Democracy is actually ruled by the people, for the people and of the people. People elect their representatives from among themselves. People express their concerns, their wants, their needs, and it is the duty of the elected representative to meet those desired duties. If those are not fulfilled by these people, the elected representatives, then there are grievances, redressal mechanisms for the same, and obviously there are elections after every 5 years. But yes, what is the role of these constitutional bodies side by side? These constitutional bodies actually ensure the welfare of the people, make sure that the democratic system functions smoothly, elections are conducted in a free and fair manner, selection of civil servants, those who are permanent executives of the government of India, those will not be elected by the people, but those will be chosen through a meritorious exam. That is, UPSC is one of those constitutional bodies. So all these constitutional bodies, they work towards strengthening the concept of democracy, making the people's based rule more and more stringent, more and more better. So let us look at these 2 topics in this particular session. The first is Mission Karam Yogi. This is basically a civil services reform. Now the government actually launched this as Mission Karam Yogi, or National Program for Civil Services Capacity Building. Now as the name suggests, capacity building is basically the qualities or the capabilities of the civil servants who are already there deployed in service, how their functioning can be made more and more effective. Like previously the civil servants were carrying out administration and were adopting paper based administration. Nowadays everything is digitized. Now there should be a mindset, there should be that capability among that civil servant to adopt that first of all, and to think in new and new directions how this digital technology or platforms can be used for effective functioning. Like for example, if I tell you that when we made Aadhaar, when we adopted Aadhaar, Aadhaar gave us unique identity. At that time we did not know that we can use Aadhaar for multiple purposes, or at that time we did not know that we can make, or we could use Aadhaar for administering the vaccination drive in India for COVID, which was massive. More than 100 crore people have been vaccinated. In absolute numbers, if I tell you, more than 200 crore vaccines have been administered. And this all happened through those digital infrastructure, the digital public infrastructure, like the CoWIN app, or the Arogya Setu app. Everything was seamless, everything was smooth. You went inside there, you got that vaccine, and while you were coming out, you got your certificate also in digital format in your phone. It was so seamless and so, I would say, efficient. Who would have thought about this? Actually, it is the administrators in the country who would have thought about using Aadhaar or using a digital platform, integrating it with Aadhaar, and then administering vaccines. This kind of futuristic thought process or futuristic, I would say, sense should also be there in the civil servants. Then it will make, life easy for the people. And when will they have that futuristic sense? If their capacity is developed. And Mission Karam Yogi is all about developing those capacities among the civil servants. That is why the name is National Program for Civil Services Capacity Building. Then Mission Karam Yogi aims to prepare civil servants for the future. This is the key. Because the future brings to us various complex problems. The future also brings to us solutions to those complex problems. The solutions which should be effective, scalable, and easy to use. That is what these civil servants should be ready for. Making them more creative, constructive, and innovative through transparency and technology. Now, per se, if I say that, these people, the civil servants, which you guys all are aspiring to be, are also at times referred to as bureaucrats. Or bureaucrats are those people who are working in a system called as bureaucracy. Now, what is bureaucracy? Bureaucracy is a system in which there are certain order givers and certain order takers. There are certain rules which have to be adhered to. Those orders have to be implemented. You cannot, bypass those orders. You cannot innovate much. There are set boundaries in which you need to do innovations, whatever you want to do, but the end result should be following those orders and implementing those orders. Because the orders givers who are sitting at the top has given that or given those orders, they have the authority to give those orders. So here we are talking about being innovative, constructive, or creative. It should be within the bounds. If you go out of the bounds, then bureaucracy will be out of its definition. We should understand that also. And being innovative, being creative is finding new and new ways of, delivering the services to the people. Like those people in the administration who thought about creating this application called as CoWIN and administering the entire vaccination drive through that. And, using Aadhaar for it. This is innovation. The main aim was service delivery to the people effectively, efficiently, seamlessly. Make life easy for the people when they are coming for vaccination. So that example I am repeating time and again because that will give you the actual sense of innovation. The main aim was service delivery, seamless service delivery to the people, and they became innovative by using technology. This level of innovation is required, or this level of constructiveness is required, or this level of creativity is required. This unique program will help to lay the foundation for civil servants in the country. There will be more focus on on-site learning. On-site learning means whatever new thing is being taught to you under Mission Karam Yogi, whatever training is being given to you, that training will be on-site training, means in the field training, not inside the closed doors where it used to happen till now. The civil servants used to undergo training time and again, but those trainings were under the closed doors. 4-day training module, a week training module, or a month-long training module. You take the training, you go back, you forget what you learned. But here, we will be doing on-site learning in complementing off-site learning. As we will not do off-site learning. We will do off-site learning in the classrooms, or I would say in the closed doors, and then we'll go on-site in the field to implement it. This is actually a very or a much needed step or much needed reform which was had to be there in the training module of civil servants. Now, objectives of Mission Karam Yogi. The stated aim of Mission Karam Yogi is to provide a mechanism to continuously build capacity, update the talent pool, and provide equal opportunities for personal and professional growth and esteem of government officials at all levels. So, it has to be equitable. Maximum reach should be there. Now, maximum reach, if I talk about, 46 lakh central government employees have to be trained in this 5-year period, 2022-2025. So it is not about training the cream, it is about training one and all. Obviously the trainings will differ from level to level, like secretary level training will be different, joint secretary level trainings will be different. So whoever is holding that position will undergo that training. But yes, it aims to cover almost all the central government employees and build capacities of this much central government employees, 46 lakh. The mission will help training the officers to meet the challenges of the society. Karam Yogi also seeks to shift the focus from rule specific to role specific. This is very, very important line. Now, as I told you, in the system of bureaucracy, there are order givers and order takers. There are set rules which have to be abided by. Now, earlier it was rule specific. The functioning was rule specific. More and more focus was on how to adhere to the rules, how to not bypass the rules. This was the training given. But now it is like a role will be given to you that you have to fulfill this role. This civil servant has to fulfill this role, and for fulfilling that role, whatever kind of possibilities will be there, those will be taught. For fulfilling a particular role, if you have to be innovative in the sense that you have to use the digital platforms, you can use. If you have to use social media, that will be taught to you. If you have to use if you have to gather opinion of the public, that will be taught to you. But main goal is that same, that service should be delivered, but role should be played by you. You've been given that role. That role should be fulfilled, and for fulfilling that role, certain innovations, certain, I would say, out of the box thinkings or out of the box elements will be taught to you. We'll not be only limiting ourselves to the rules which we were earlier being limited to. We will now be shifting our approach to role specific. A role has been given. How to fulfill that role, that will be taught. It also aims to building future ready civil services with the right attitude, skills and knowledge aligned to the vision of New India. And New India obviously is a digital India, a more, I would say, advanced India, a more aware India, more educated India, and more developed India. So in order to fulfill the issues of this new India, you are being developed, or your capacities are being developed. The endeavor is also to end the culture of working in silos. Now, working in silos, what does this phrase mean? We have to end this. One of the main objectives of this Mission Karam Yogi is also this. Now, what happens presently is multiple bureaucrats or multiple civil servants, they are working for achieving a particular goal. That goal is, this is the goal, let's suppose. This civil servant is working for this goal. This civil servant is also working for this goal. But working in silos simply means that they are not communicating with each other. That has to end. Maybe he wants to take the credit, or this civil servant wants to take the credit. So they'll not share with each other. And the end result would be they would end up wasting time. What if both of these people have done the same thing? That is of no use. They've wasted their precious time, and their time is for the public service, not for gaining credit. But yes, they have been working in silos. not communicating with each other, working towards the same goal but not communicating with each other. That is working in silos. That is not required at all. That actually has to end. A proper teamwork has to be there, proper communication has to be there, and then only success is achieved. I can bring in context here the Chandrayaan 3's team. There was perfect coordination. Various departments were given to various people. Launch department is yours, satellite or sensor designing is yours. Then, launch vehicle will be designed by this person. All the administrative work will be done by this person. Coordination with NASA will be done by this person. It was division of labor, but coordinated division of labor was there. So this has to end. Overcome the multiplicity of training curriculum. This also has to end. It will improve the human resource management practices in the government, which is very much required right now. Executing bodies of this mission Karam Yogi. It will be steered by 4 new bodies. First is Prime Minister's Public Human Resource Council. Second is a Capacity Building Commission. Third is a special purpose vehicle that will own and operate the digital assets and technological platforms for online training. Like there is one platform called as iGot. For iGot Karam Yogi it is called as. For training which has various training modules, online training modules for various levels of civil services. So this will be controlled, or this will be operated by this special purpose vehicle which will be created for this purpose. Then a coordination unit will be there which will be headed by the cabinet secretary for coordinating various trainings and all. Now Karam Yogi Guidelines 2023. Equip civil services with fit for future knowledge, skills and attitude to deliver on national priorities with the spirit of Jan Bhagidari. Jan Bhagidari is nothing but public participation. Now it has been found in various studies that wherever public participation is there, the rollout of or the execution of the plans, policies or schemes is better. So this is very, very important. Then enable civil services training institutions to become an effective implementation arm for civil services capacity building. So they will be enabled civil services training institutions. Like presently we have Labasna in Mussoorie, or Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Academy for Police. We have it in Hyderabad. We have Academy for Taxes, training for taxes in Faridabad. If you get into IRS, you'll go to Faridabad. Get into IAS, you'll go to Labasna. Get into IPS, you'll be going to Hyderabad. Likewise, there are multiple training academies which train the civil servants at various levels. Then online capacity building intervention in iGot Karam Yogi platform. This iGot Karam Yogi platform is that which is responsible for hosting those training modules in online mode to facilitate overall objective of shift from rule-based to role-based human resource management in government. So this rule-based to role-based, I've explained. You got to know. Okay. Fit for future knowledge, skills, those have to be developed. These are according to the guidelines of Karam Yogi, Mission Karam Yogi 2023. Then the next topic is role of constitutional bodies in strengthening of the democracy. Democracy is a system in which people vote for their representatives. The representatives are elected with the responsibility of governing the people who voted for them. Not only people who voted for them, people who voted against them also. It is this moral duty of that elected representative to make the services available effectively, efficiently and adequately for those people. It is the people who can ask questions. It is the people who can vote against that also in the next set of elections. So democracy in itself is very powerful. It is basically the voice of the people. In short terms, it is called as, rule of the people, by the people and for the people. So people are centric in that. Now, this was about elected representatives in democracy. Some are non-elected also. And non-elected representatives should also be controlled. And how are they controlled? They are controlled by the Constitution. The Constitution has certain rights or certain, I would say, rules or regulations for these people. These bodies are called as the constitutional bodies. Now, the institution of democracy is built on constitutional bodies. The robustness of Indian democracy has been greatly influenced by their existence, the constitutional body's existence. Democracy is imagined as a form of governance based on certain fundamental philosophies, like people should be part of the governance structure because they are the subjects and beneficiaries to the governance setup. The concept of Jan Bhagidari, which we studied in the last topic, that is very much important. Now we have a list of certain constitutional bodies, and here in this list I will be explaining and I will be telling you what is the major responsibility of these constitutional bodies. The first is Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG. Now CAG is responsible for auditing various, I would say, government departments, PSUs, or I would say various schemes of the government which the government is implementing, and find out irregularities, if any, in those departments or schemes. Article 148 of our Constitution gives CAG its powers, its duties and its limitations also. It's this office of CAG which puts kind of a financial check on the government. So this is very, very important, because when you are in this position of power where people have elected you, power should not corrupt you, and especially in financial terms. So CAG will be responsible for highlighting all the irregularities. CAG has highlighted various irregularities in the past, like the Colgate scam, the CWG scam. Many irregularities have been highlighted by CAG. Recently, CAG also issued a report last month where it highlighted certain gaps in the Ayushman Bharat scheme. Highlighting this fact because CAG is responsible for not only auditing various departments or PSUs, but various schemes also, how it is being implemented, what amount of money is being invested on it, whether it is being invested in the right way or not. All these are covered under the ambit of CAG. Second is Attorney General of India, AGI, under Article 76. The office of AGI is no one but the lawyer of Government of India. Any case in the Supreme Court or High Court, and Government of India, if it happens to be one of the parties in those cases, then the Government of India will be represented by the Attorney General of India. Attorney General of India also happens to be part of the Union Executive. He attends the sittings of the Parliament without the right to vote. So this is Attorney General of India. The next is Election Commission of India, Article 324. The very essence of democracy is fulfilled by Election Commission of India, because Election Commission of India is responsible for conducting free and fair elections to the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the state legislative assemblies. For the panchayats, it is the state election commissions, and the urban local bodies, it is the state election commissions. But yes, Election Commission of India for the Parliament and the state legislative assemblies. Then we have Union Public Service Commission, Article 315 to 323. I think I don't need to say much about this, because we all, you all are preparing for this UPSC Civil Services examination. So coming on to this only, UPSC is that body, a constitutional body of the Government of India, which is responsible for appointing or selecting the candidates on the basis of merit. And which candidates? Candidates who will be serving as permanent executives, the civil servants of India, and various other, I would say, cadets like NDA, CDS, all exams are being conducted by this UPSC, which selects candidates for the defense forces. Then we have state public service commissions, also under the same articles. This is responsible for selecting candidates for the state service. It is also mentioned in the constitution. The National Commission for Scheduled Castes, it is under article 338. It takes care of the welfare of the scheduled castes, and adequate protection measures or protective measures for the scheduled castes are undertaken by NCSC as a constitutional body. Article 338 entails all those rights and obligations of this body. Next is National Commission for STs. The same work is done by NCST. Also both these bodies, and there's a third body also, National Commission for Backward Classes, 338B, 338A and 338. Now these three bodies upholding the rights of these, I would say, vulnerable communities, SCs, STs and backward classes, it is one of the major mandates of these bodies. But apart from it, selection of people, or I would say inclusion and exclusion of various communities in the scheduled caste list, scheduled tribe list or OBC list is also facilitated by these bodies. So that is responsible for their upliftment, overall upliftment of these deprived sections of the society. Then Finance Commission, Article 280. Finance Commission is that body which determines the sharing or devolution of taxes between the center and the states. Actually, there are certain taxes which are being collected by the center, but those taxes has to be shared with the states. In what percentage it will be shared, how it will be shared, that is all determined by Finance Commission. It is constituted once in 5 years, and whatever mandate this Finance Commission gives, the center has to abide by that. Then finally we have the Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities, Article 350B. Basically, linguistic minorities are many in the country, and for protecting their interest, this office has been established under Article 350B. So vulnerable communities like SC, ST, backward classes, minorities, they are being protected, their rights are being protected. The states, they are getting adequate amount of share by this commission. The activities of the central government are being checked upon. The central government is being represented by AGI in any courts. Election Commission of India responsible for conducting free and fair elections. UPSC and SPSCs basically conducting examination for appointing or choosing candidates on the basis of merit. All in all, these constitutional bodies are making our democratic setup more and more robust, more and more, I would say, legitimate. And this is the role of constitutional bodies. That is why constitutional bodies in a democratic setup are very, very important. Most importantly, for putting check on the government. So nobody is above the government. So nobody is above the constitution. The constitution is the supreme. The government is here. So constitutional bodies may have certain powers or will have certain powers to put a check on the activities of the government. So this needs to be understood. And this is it from this part of Yojana, that is part 3. Now we have covered all 3 parts of Yojana, part 1, 2 and 3 for the month of September 2023. Next month we will be coming with the next month's issue. We will be covering it in various parts depending on the content on that particular month. Now till then, you read the original text. You can read the original text. The main purpose of these videos or these sessions is to make things, or to make this reading of the original text easier for you. Or if you have read the original text, you can watch these videos for revising it. But yes, these are very, very important. And while reading Yojana, every article you read in Yojana is written in the form of an essay, 1000 to 1200 word essay, which you need to write in your UPSC mains examination. So also try to focus or try to look to those articles from that lens, that how an essay is framed, how it can be written, what tone it can have, what I would say content, how content phrasing and all can be done. From that lens also start looking to those articles. So it will tackle both the purposes. Okay. So this is it from this session. I will be meeting you with your Yojana sessions next month, with next month's Yojana. And in the meantime, For daily sessions, I am coming daily. Thank you. Till then, you can keep reading, writing, and learning. Apart from it, most importantly, you need to revise also. That is it. Jai Hind. Namaste.